Okay, so we're diving into some pretty intense stuff today, this whole DeepSeek thing.
Yeah, it's wild, really. This company's making some big waves, and they might just turn the whole AI world upside down.
Absolutely. And the potential impact goes way beyond just software. We're talking about the chip industry even. Our phones, our cars, everything.
Right. The article we're looking at today,
It's called How DeepSeek Will Destroy the Entire Chip Industry.
catchy title, a little dramatic maybe, but it definitely grabs your attention, right?
For sure. I mean, chips are in everything these days, so if this company's really about to disrupt the whole industry, we need to understand what's going on.
Yeah, no doubt. And what's fascinating is this isn't some distant future we're talking about. This could have a real impact, like way sooner than we think.
Right, exactly. And it all started with these, whispers about this mysterious Chinese AI model, DeepSeek R1.
Oh yeah, R1. I remember when those benchmarks first leaked, everyone was buzzing about it. It seemed to be right up there with like OpenAI's GPT-4 in terms of performance.
It was kind of shocking, right? Out of nowhere, this unknown player comes in and shakes things up. Even Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, seemed to acknowledge, even if subtly, that something big was happening.
Yeah, there was definitely a shift in the air, but honestly, what really set DeepSeek apart wasn't just the performance, it was how they achieved it.
Right, their efficiency,
Exactly. The article highlights how they managed to get that level of performance using way less computing power than their rivals, like significantly less.
which has huge implications for accessibility and affordability.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about it. Right now, companies like OpenAI and Google, they control access to these super powerful AI models through their cloud services, and those services are expensive.
And then DeepSeek drops this bombshell. R1 is going to be open source.
Boom, game changer.
Totally. Anyone can use it, develop it, without paying any licensing fees. It's a completely different model than what we've seen before.
It's like they flip the script. Imagine suddenly startups, researchers, heck, even individual developers, they all have the power to compete with the tech giants. It's a huge potential shift in the whole AI landscape.
And it all comes back to their background. DeepSeek didn't come from a traditional AI lab. They came from the world of quantitative trading.
Yeah, that's a key piece of the puzzle, high stakes finance.
Right, fractions of a second matter in that world. They're used to dealing with massive amounts of data, running complex algorithms, and optimizing for speed and efficiency, constantly.
It's like they were training for the AI race without even knowing it.
Totally. They had this pre-existing expertise in financial modeling and lightning-fast calculations, and it turns out that was the perfect background for AI development.
Yeah, they basically took that expertise and applied it to a whole new domain, and the result is DeepSeek R1, a model that's both incredibly powerful and remarkably efficient.
Okay, so we've got this mysterious Chinese AI model developed by a former trading firm that's more efficient and open source than anything we've seen before. But how does the chip industry fit into all of this? Because the article title is pretty dire. They're claiming DeepSeek will destroy the entire chip industry.
That's the million-dollar question, and it all circles back to this idea of efficiency. DeepSeek R1 doesn't need as much computing power, so you can run on less powerful hardware.
It doesn't need those super expensive high-end chips that companies like NVIDIA have been relying on.
Exactly, and that's where the potential for disruption comes in. If you don't need to buy the most powerful chips to run cutting-edge AI, demand for those top-tier chips plummets. That's a big problem for the chip industry.
Especially since they've been betting on the idea that we'll always need more and more powerful chips. DeepSeek is challenging that assumption at its core.
Think of it this way. The semiconductor industry, it's a giant, multi-trillion-dollar giant. They're built on this idea of constant growth, this insatiable need for more processing power. DeepSeek comes along and says, hold on, what if we can do more with less?
And suddenly the whole foundation of the industry is in question.
That's the idea the article is exploring, and it's not just some theoretical thing. It could actually have a real impact on you and me, like in our everyday lives.
Yeah, because chips are in everything. If the chip industry gets disrupted, we're all going to feel it, our phones, our cars, everything. DeepSeek is challenging the status quo, and the ripple effects could be massive.
For sure. It's a wild time to be following AI, that's for sure. This whole DeepSeek situation, it's like watching the tectonic plates shift beneath our feet.
Definitely. Things are changing fast, and DeepSeek is definitely one to watch.
No doubt about it.
We just dove into DeepSeek's background and this incredible AI model, DeepSeek R1, that's shaking up the industry. But I keep coming back to that bold article title, How DeepSeek Will Destroy the Entire Chip Industry. Is it really possible they could have that much impact?
It's a provocative claim, no doubt, but to understand why it's even being considered, we need to look closer at the technical innovations behind DeepSeek R1. The article mentions model distillation as key to their efficiency. It's a concept that's tough to grasp at first, so let's try to break it down. Imagine a massive library filled with every book ever written.
Okay, I can picture that endless shelves, the smell of old paper.
Now imagine you want to find the answer to a specific question. You could spend years sifting through all those books, right? That's kind of like how traditional AI models work. They're huge, and they require tons of processing power to search through all that data. Model distillation is like having a super librarian who can pinpoint the exact few books you need, giving you the answer much faster and with less effort.
So DeepSeek found a way to streamline their AI, making it smaller and more focused without losing its ability to deliver powerful results.
Exactly. They've managed to distill the knowledge of a massive AI model into a smaller, more efficient package. It's like finding the essence of that vast library, the core insights, and making them readily accessible.
That makes sense, but there must be some trade-offs, right? Doesn't shrinking an AI model limit what it can do?
There are always trade-offs in engineering. Typically, smaller models might be less accurate or capable of handling very complex tasks. But DeepSeek seems to have found a way to mitigate those limitations, potentially through innovative techniques like model pruning or quantization.
Can you unpack those a bit for us? What do those techniques actually involve?
Think of model pruning like removing the excess branches from a tree. You get one of the parts in the AI model that aren't contributing much to the overall results, streamlining it for better performance. Quantization is like rounding numbers. You slightly reduce the precision of calculations within the model, saving processing power without significantly impacting accuracy.
So it's about finding clever ways to optimize every aspect of the AI model, squeezing out maximum performance with minimal resources.
Precisely. And that's where DeepSeek's experience in quantitative trading really shines. They're used to finding tiny edges, optimizing algorithms to the extreme, because in the world of high-frequency trading, even milliseconds matter.
They brought that same mindset to AI development, relentlessly pursuing efficiency at every step. And the result is DeepSeek R1, a model that challenges the assumption that bigger is always better.
This shift toward efficiency could have ripple effects throughout the entire tech industry. Imagine a world where even our smartphones can handle incredibly complex AI tasks, all without needing a connection to the cloud or draining our batteries in an hour.
That's a future I can definitely get behind. But what about the companies that have been profiting from selling those high-powered chips?
That's where the destroy part of the article's title comes in. DeepSeek's efficiency gains directly threaten the business model of companies like NVIDIA, whose high-end GPUs have been essential for running these massive AI models.
If DeepSeek R1 and models like it become the norm, demand for those expensive chips could plummet. Suddenly, everyone's scrambling to adapt.
The article argues that the entire semiconductor industry, which has been built on this assumption of ever-increasing demand for more powerful chips, could be caught off guard. It's a dramatic claim, but not entirely implausible.
And this isn't just about hypothetical future scenarios. The effects could be felt by everyday consumers very soon.
Imagine your next smartphone being significantly cheaper because the cost of its AI chip has dropped dramatically. Or think about the possibilities for medical devices in remote areas. They could now leverage powerful AI capabilities without needing bulky, expensive hardware.
It's like DeepSeek has thrown a wrench into the works of the entire tech ecosystem. And it's fascinating to consider how different players will react. Will chip manufacturers try to compete on efficiency? Or will they pivot to specialized AI hardware? Will we see a new wave of startups building AI solutions for low-power devices?
These are all questions that experts are grappling with right now, and the answers will shape the technological landscape for years to come. But one thing is certain. DeepSeek has ignited a debate about the future of AI, and the implications are far-reaching.
So it's not just about DeepSeek versus the chip industry. It's about a fundamental shift in how we think about AI development, a shift that could touch every aspect of our lives.
This story goes far beyond just one company or one AI model. It's about a new era of AI, one where efficiency and accessibility are paramount, and it's unfolding right now.
This global AI race is getting more interesting by the day, and DeepSeek has definitely shaken things up. But there's another layer to this story. We need to explore the geopolitical dimension. China has made it clear that they have ambitions to lead the world in AI. How does DeepSeek fit into their larger strategy? So we were just discussing how DeepSeek's approach to AI is, sending ripples throughout the tech industry. But this story's bigger than just like chips and algorithms, right? It's all tangled up with this global race for AI dominance, and China seems to be playing a whole different game than the US.
Yeah, it really is a stark contrast when you look at how the two are approaching this. The U.S. has often focused on fostering innovation, within its tech giants. But China, they've got this more centralized, strategic approach. It's very deliberate.
They've set that clear national goal, right? Becoming the world leader in AI by 2030. And DeepSeek's actions, well, they seem to fit right into that ambition.
Oh, absolutely. And you pointed out like how China's been pouring resources into AI research and development, creating these national labs, really pushing STEM education. It's like they're setting the stage for a massive AI ecosystem.
Right, and then DeepSeek comes in with this open source approach.
And it's a perfect fit for that strategy. By making their technology widely available, it's like they're throwing the doors open, attracting talent and collaboration from, well, everywhere, could really accelerate China's progress.
It's clever, for sure, especially when you contrast that with the more, I don't know, guarded approach we've seen from some U.S. companies. It's almost like they're saying, hey, come join us. Let's build the future of AI together. But, at the same time, they're subtly shifting the whole center of gravity in the AI world.
Yeah, it's a very subtle power play, and this approach, it could really reshape the global AI landscape. Think about it, it has the potential to empower those who've traditionally been on the sidelines of AI development. Like, we could see new hubs of innovation popping up in unexpected places. It could create a more multipolar world.
That's what I find so fascinating about this whole thing. It's not just about, like, who builds the best AI, but who sets the rules, right? Who gets to define the ethical standards, who controls the flow of data and expertise. And DeepSeek, they've thrown a real wild card into the mix.
They really have, and the implications, they're huge. We're seeing this shift in how nations view AI, a move away from just the economics of it all to something much more strategic, even ideological. Like it's becoming this battle of ideas almost.
And for the listener, it's this reminder that AI isn't just some tech industry trend. It's this force that's changing the world, and the choices we make now, they're going to have ripple effects for years to come.
What we're seeing with DeepSeek, it's like just a glimpse of what's to come. This whole thing, it raises questions that go way beyond AI models or, how fast a ship can process data. It's about power, control, the future of our digital world.
It's been a mind-bending deep dive, to say the least. And I got to say, I think I've got more questions now than answers. But honestly, I think that's a good thing, right?
I agree. It's good to be a little uncomfortable, to acknowledge what we don't know. This landscape is changing so fast. The important thing is to stay curious, keep learning, and keep having these conversations.
So that wraps up our deep dive on DeepSeek and the future of AI. We hope this conversation, got you thinking.
Remember, the future isn't set in stone. The choices we make today, they matter. So stay informed, stay engaged, and help shape this future of AI.